So for our last and final learning target, number 5, LT number 5, we're doing solving equations algebraically. Algebraically, my bad for mispronouncing that. That have square roots. And okay, so for our first question, we have, or not rather equation, sorry. We have x parentheses x to the power of 2 equals negative parentheses 2 parentheses to the power of 2. Now we use the square root in order to simplify this.
And we use the square root once again we always want to cancel out the squares. So we use the square root to cancel out the square because we don't want that. Okay.
Okay, so our answer would be x to the power equals, our final answer would be x equals negative to the power of square root power of 2.
Because this right here, well, the ending answer, the square root of 2 would just be 2. So we write down this, and as you can see, when we drop down, it doesn't have the parentheses anymore, and that's how it shows how the square got canceled by square roots. And this would be a no real solution because the ending answer does have a negative in it, and we do not want that, so it's no real solution.
Okay, so as a follow-up, this is no real solution.
We do not want that.
No. Okay, no. Question 2.
Never.
We have x parentheses x to the power of 2 equals negative 16 parentheses to the power of 2. So we're going to square root these two. And by square rooting them, because of 16 to the power of 2, that comes out to 4, which is negative 4. So we would write down x equals negative 4.
Okay, and the answer is negative 4 because the square root of 16 is 4, and 4 times 4 equals 16, as you guys should know.
As 4 times 4 equals 16. Okay.
But since there's a negative, it will end up being a negative. And once again,
this
that
is our final answer.
Yeah.
And this doesn't check out. There's no real solution.
Because of the negative.
No real solution. And this checks out our check sheet right here that we have for this assignment. It says must include no solution problems. So 1 and 2 are not real solutions. So let's get on to question 3 and our real world question solving problem.
All right, that's the last question. For the third one, we'll have a little more hard one just to work with harder questions like so and so. So yeah.
For our third question, we're gonna gradually increase the hardness of the question.
Yep. Thank you for signing up, man. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's it. Let's get to it.
Okay. So question 3.
Okay. All right. For question 3, second to last, our question would be 2x parentheses squared equals parentheses 36 parentheses again squared. So as you can see, these two are once squared once again, and for every equation like this, we don't want that. So what we add is a square root to cancel that out. So when we drop it down, the 2x is alone, and it's not squared anymore, so we don't have to deal with that. And this right here equaled, just as always, it has a 2. So the square root of 36 would be 6, because 6 times 6 down here equals 36, if you did not know that. And then we want the x alone. We don't want the 2. So what we do here, we're gonna draw this line on both sides to divide 2, and whatever you do on the left, you also need to do on the right. So this is how it looks like. To get the x alone, we do this, what I just explained, and it cancels out the 2 on this side. You drop down the x equals this side right here, we're left with 3. Now it's just also 3 because 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. And our final answer is this, as you can see. All right, we can move on to our next problem. Erase this whole thing. take a little bit.
Here you go.
Okay, and for our last and final question, question 4, we'll be including a real-world situation where we can use solving squares by using square roots to get our final answer. In this situation, we have a company that is trying to make a square garden with an area of 242 square meters. And the question they're asking is, what is the length of each side of the square garden? Now to do that, this would be our x in this case, but it's an s because it's for sides, right? And we know the full thing altogether is 242, but we don't know how much each side is. So we'll have that for now. And our answer will just be square 2, so it'll just be squared, equals 242. So when you add that in a calculator, you would get approximately s equals 15.56 meters long. Now that we have gotten this is the final answer, like I said once again. And I say approximately because this isn't the official answer, and when you see in the calculator, it's like a bunch of numbers. So yeah, it's always approximately, right? APX. And that is our last question.
That is it for Learning Target 5.
Solving squares using square roots.
A very short video, but it's an overall pretty easy and understandable concept. Main vocabulary words in this video is just square roots and
square, literally that.
Square roots, that's it.
We use divide one time, but that's pretty much it, yeah.
And no real solution as well. One important thing to keep in mind is do not, while trying to use a square root, make sure not to use any negatives because that will always come out to no solution.
But sometimes that isn't your fault because, that's just the way the question is. And yeah, just remember, if it comes out as a negative, like the ending answer, it's just going to be no real solution. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Hope you learned.